It's March and it's International Women's Month. And at Kaleidoscope, we thought we'd explain to you a little bit more about the oldest women's chamber in the world. The Women's Chamber of Industry and Commerce was founded in Sri Lanka by Chloe de Souza with the priority of harnessing women's economic power to stimulate socio-economic growth. 40 years later, with the strength and power of some amazing women at the fore, the Women's Chamber works hard to achieve its vision of being the think tank, the voice and the platform to empower women to be a powerful nation builder and contribute to economic growth. Welcome to Kaleidoscope, where we are positive, daring, different. On the show today, Italian design on Sri Lanka's ramp, reforming the white elephant and when Candy danced and no one watched. Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn, so don't forget to subscribe, follow and like us for more. A massive thank you to our lovely partners on the show, Srilanka Life, CDB, Amari Colombo and The Daily Morning.
She wins with CDB Wings, exclusive financial solutions for women.
Looking back at the week that was on CDB Snapshot, Sri Lanka's tourism earnings surged to $400 million in January 2025. Sri Lanka's forex earnings exceed imports by $546 million in January. The IMF sets a target of 900 billion rupees in revenue before the release of its fifth tranche. Scientists discover hidden tunnels underneath a castle in Milan, rumored to have been sketched by Leonardo da Vinci. A naked man is arrested riding a motorcycle from Kandy to Colombo.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
Welcome to Srilanka Life News Capsule. Sri Lanka's public sector is surely a white elephant, rife with politics, low productivity, corruption, poor resource management and a lack of transparency and accountability. Chartered engineer Janaka Seneviratne, currently working in the Australian New South Wales local government, spent 12 years in the Sri Lankan public sector. Joining me from Australia, I asked him what he sees of Sri Lanka's public sector.
I would suggest the reform should start resource management and asset management, as these areas have proven to be pivotal to the enhancing and governance in developed countries. So addressing these foundational issues will help to create a manageable framework for tackling other challenges within the sector. It would be required to conduct an organizational analysis to identify specific system deficiencies within an individual department or an organization. However, there should be a consistent, non-negotiable framework.
So if you're looking at an ideally managed public sector that will be productive and not a burden to the country's treasury, what should be done?
I recommend establishing a multidisciplinary professional committee tasked with asset and resources management initiatives. This committee must consist of local experts and also Sri Lankans who have the experience in high-performing public sector in developed countries. This asset and resource management system should be underpinned with key performance indicators at the governance level, and also transforming the manual operation into digital system would prevent any opportunities for corrupt acts.
And who will be brave enough to do all this?
I strongly believe the President of Sri Lanka is best positioned to lead these reforms, given the public image the incumbent president radiates, and also the considerable powers vested in the presidency, which surpass the same of many developed countries. So this may be the last opportunity for Sri Lanka to enact meaningful change in the public sector before the presidential system undergoes its modifications.
And let's take a peek at this week's markets. At the Colombo Stock Exchange, the All Share Price Index had a sharp drop after average daily turnover levels fell below 2 billion rupees, with most investors adopting a wait-and-see attitude. OPEC Plus decided to increase output for the first time since 2022, seeing oil prices tumble below $70 per barrel, while US tariffs on Canada, Mexico and China will slow economic growth with less demand for fuel in the near future. Gold prices kept rising, firmly above $2,900 per ounce, with investors expecting a trade war after US President Donald Trump increased tariffs. It's International Women's Month, and here's how Time magazine reminded us of how women are changing the world, from equality in film to female genital mutilation, bodily autonomy, feeding the hungry, and testaments to sexual violence. The power of a woman truly knows no bounds. Fashion and Italy go hand in hand, and we experienced that firsthand recently when, on the invitation of the Italian embassy in Colombo, the ambassador for Italian design in Sri Lanka for Italian Design Day 2025, the CEO of WhiteMilano, Brenda Bellei, was in Sri Lanka. Collaborating with Colombo Fashion Week 2025, she brought White, which is a premier fashion trade show at Milan Fashion Week and renowned for championing emerging designers and sustainable fashion, onto the Sri Lankan catwalk. Brenda has made White a key platform for innovation and contemporary women's wear, and she is with us on Let's Talk today. Italy has a very strong reputation in craftsmanship and luxury fashion. Sri Lanka, in the meanwhile, is emerging as a key player in textile production. Where do you see potential in collaboration between these two industries?
Sri Lanka has a really old and very curated structure in textile, in fabrics, in cotton, in linen. I remember, because I visited Sri Lanka for a long period 26 years ago, so I know very well how it's the huge and the beauty of this country and the potentiality that we could have in the textile heritage of the country and the production, of course.
Now, you're the ambassador for Italian design in Sri Lanka for Italian Design Day in 2025. What aspects of Italian fashion and design do you think will resonate most with Sri Lankan fashion?
We, as Milano Fashion Week, we are one of the most powerful and well-known fashion week all over the world, as made in Italy, Milano Fashion Week. But of course, doing experience here and also having the opportunity to meet a new designer, also new textile, new things, it's really interesting today, because I believe that we have to evolve worldwide, the platform and the view.
So you're here to connect with Sri Lankan designers at Colombo Fashion Week. What advice would you give them about gaining international recognition?
The most important advice is to keep their identity, because nowadays the fashion system have lost the identity. Most of the designers, most of the big brands, they have all the same items, structure, DNA. So it's really important today to keep and to work on their own heritage, on their own identity, to be unique and to be well done with a good balance between quality and prices. This is very important.
So you have worked very closely with emerging designers all over the world. What qualities do you think are essential for these emerging designers to get international recognition?
The capability also in production, and to be able to sell and to deliver, and to have a unique product, but wearable, easy to wear, but with a special taste, with a special DNA. And I'm sure that today there is a huge space in this fashion world that it's gonna changing a lot in this period, because as I told you before, most of the industry nowadays are facing a huge change in the fashion sales. So I believe it could be a very good opportunity worldwide for the young generation.
What future trends are you seeing that's going to shape the fashion industry in the future?
I'm sure that the resort, the colorful, the easy to wear, fabrics and garments should have a great opportunity in the market nowadays, because the travel, business, it's increasing a lot. So I'm sure that following also, this kind of exotic items, and also I believe that Sri Lanka, such as India, could be very powerful in following this trend. I mean, the resort, the colorful dress, the cotton, the linen, and I believe that here the heritage is really strong, and it could be a huge potentiality in this growth.
So at Colombo Fashion Week, you've shown Cettina Bucca's collection. What makes that work stand out?
She used to be at our showcase in WhiteMilano since the beginning. She belongs to very important association, Confartigianato. She is working also with the Regione Siciliana. She has a strong heritage, in terms of made in Italy, in terms of pret-a-couture, in terms of also how she has developed the collection and her own image. She is working with the young generation, with young talented local designer. I am not able to tell you how and why I thought to Cettina, but immediately appears Cettina in my mind, and I introduce her here.
"2020 Candy Danced" is the book, and this is how it was launched. A powerful spectacle, intensely beautiful, captured in the pages of Shannon Raymond's book, a collector's edition that comes alive in your hands. In August 2020, during COVID, Shannon stood on the balcony of the Queen's Hotel Kandy and watched 1,000 performers in the Asala Perahera dancing with intensity and passion, even though there was no one watching. And it was this intensity, rawness, passion and infection in all its unique unusualness that Shannon captures in his book.
I was looking at it from a different perspective. I'm looking at it from probably a performer's or a dancer's point of view. So I was looking at different angles and lines and techniques and things like that. So that's what caught my eye. And especially the fact that it was during the COVID period and these kids were just performing their hearts out with absolutely no one watching. And it epitomizes what a performer is about.
In the book, Shannon the dancer portrays more than performers: dancing shadows, rhythmic movements, detailed design, silhouettes, everything very raw, alive and intensely rhythmic.
We have focused a lot on things that people don't normally focus on when they do books on perahera, like the torchbearers, the effort that they go into. We've given them, cover page. We've also focused on design elements, because those people spend months designing fabrics, the costumes, everything. And everyone focuses on the glamour, which is the dancers and the drummers, and focusing on the headdresses, fabrics, the prints.
All proceeds from this limited edition book will be channeled towards the Victoria Home for the Incurables and the Artists Welfare Foundation. This month, remember to celebrate women and support women. We'll see you next week.